Moving on to our next chapter, which is the diversity of living organism. In this presentation or in this video, we will be discussing about five kingdom classification of organisms, which were proposed by Robert Whittaker in 1969. So what actually used to happen earlier, all living things, they were grouped into two categories. The one category was of plants and one category was animals. But there were few organisms which cannot be grouped into either of these two groups. So for those organisms, a higher level of classification was required, and that time Whittaker proposed another classification, which is a 5 kingdom classification. So because it was difficult to group some living things into one or other, so that's why 2 kingdoms were expanded further, and the 5 kingdoms which were expanded from 2 kingdoms include the first kingdom, which is a Protista, which includes single cell eukaryotes, then fungi, the third kingdom is Plantae, Animalia and Monera. Later some scientists, they actually divided the Monera into 2 further categories. One was Eubacteria and Archaebacteria, so that this 5 kingdom classification is moved to 6 kingdom classification sometimes. Moving on to our first kingdom, which is the kingdom Mandra, which includes all the prokaryotic organisms. So it is that kingdom which contains all the unicellular organisms, and these unicellular organisms, since it is a prokaryotic cells and it does not have a true nucleus, it has a primitive nucleus. So these unicellular organisms have a prokaryotic cell organization. One example is bacteria. This Monera is further divided into 2 categories, as I have told you. One is Archaebacteria and one is Eubacteria, and this classification of dividing it into 2 categories were given by Colvos. The Archaebacteria are the autotrophs, and they have ability to photosynthesize. However, sometimes they derive their energy from metabolic activities or from the oxidation of the energy sources, such as reduction of various gases and reduction of hydrogen sulfide, and this is what provides them energy. So these are the Archaebacteria or the autotrophic organisms. Eubacteria, they form the large category of the large domain of the prokaryotic organisms, Eubacteria. Typically, there are few micrometers in length, and the bacteria have a wide range of shapes ranging from sphere, because bacteria have a wide range of shapes. They are rod-like, they are spiral-like, they are comma-like, or these are the various shapes in which this bacteria can occur. Next is kingdom is Protista. This group includes all kinds of unicellular eukaryotic organisms and eukaryotic algae, as well as protozoans and sometimes unicellular fungi. Some of these unicellular organisms, they have some appendages, or these appendages are like flagellum, like cilia, and their mode of nutrition is normally autotrophic or heterotrophic, and the examples of this Protista is Euglena, amoeba. Amoeba is one such example, and the other example is Paramecium, which have some Paramecium has a flagellum like structure, or even Euglena has a flagellum like structure, which helps in motility, which helps in providing movement from one part to another part. The next kingdom is kingdom fungi. The kingdom fungi, it is actually separated from both kingdoms, plants and animals, and this fungi kingdom, it consists of plants, animals, protists and bacteria. It is apart from these kingdoms. The major difference is that the fungal cells, they have cell walls, and the cell wall of this fungi, it is consisting of a molecule which is a chitin. Unlike the cell wall of plants and some proteins, because the cell wall of plants and as well as the cell wall of protists, they contain cellulose, whereas the cell wall of fungi, it consists of chitin, which is unlike the part of the cell wall of bacteria and various other plants. The body of the fungi, it is filamentous, and it is usually multicellular. So this is what is the third kingdom is fungi. The next kingdom is Plantae. Plantae includes all the plants which are heterotrophic multicellular organism. Unlike Archaebacteria, which was autotrophic, it includes all the heterotrophic multicellular organisms, and these Plantae kingdom includes all the organisms that are eukaryotic, that is, each cell has a well defined nucleus with a true nucleus with a complete nuclear membrane and a nuclear envelope. So that's why it is known as a eukaryotic organism, and the reserve food of these eukaryotic organisms in the category of plants, they have starch and lipids, and the growth in the plants, it is indefinite because of the presence of some growing points, and the body form of these plants, it is irregular because they have certain branches which provides them a irregular shape. The last kingdom is the kingdom Animalia. The kingdom Animalia, they are eukaryotic and multicellular organisms. This cell wall is absent because cell wall is a feature of plantae kingdom, it is not a feature of Animalia. The next feature is that the animal kingdom, they are heterotrophic and they hunt for their own food. So that's why locomotion or skeletal system, it is one of the prominent feature which is present in the Animalia. However, this locomotory feature, it is absent in the kingdom Plantae. So this is what a Animalia kingdom is. This 5 kingdom classification was given by Whittaker.